Here, we're going to work on a couple drawings from page 82. The first one we're going to do is page 82-Top-C. To do that, you're going to start a standard IPT. And we'll wait a little bit for that to come up. I should have started that already. Alright, for this, I'm going to start it there on the front plane. So I'm going to go Start Sketch, click on my front plane, and with this, you notice the bottom part is rounded on the corners. We're going to kind of ignore that to the end, and we're going to start with just a simple rectangle. And we're going to put that rectangle around the origin, so we're going to center that horizontally and vertically. We're going to dimension that thing, and I always try to go, my basic size is I try to go about 3 inches across for all these things, for at least the main part of it. So I'm going to make this a 3 by 3 little block, and I do want this always to be a square, so I'm going to reference this dimension up here to the top and click on it to make it 3 by 3. So no matter what I change this to, it'll always stay a square. I'm going to go ahead and finish my sketch. I'm going to extrude that. Maybe if I can find it. There we go. I'm going to extrude that 1 inch. It looks like it's too much to me. 0.5. Yeah, 0.5 might work. I'm going to go 0.5. Alright, so there's that first block. Now, on the fillets, you're going to save those to the very last step. So now I'm just going to go Start Sketch. Going to put it there on the front. And I'm going to put a circle there in that front plane. With that, I'm going to dimension it, and that front circle, oh, I don't know, looks like I'm at 2.27, let's just go 2 1/4, see what that looks like. I think that's fine, and then extrude it. The distance I'm going to extrude it for that little part there, it looks like it's thicker than the base, so I'm going to go 0.75, and that looks good there. For the next portion of it, I'm going to start a sketch here. Going to draw another circle. Going to make that one a little bit smaller. And dimension it at a little bit smaller. Right now I'm at 1.83. I'm going to go 1.75 maybe. And I think that looks pretty good. Once again, I'm going to extrude it. And this distance is quite a bit more, maybe 1.5. 1.5 is not even enough, I don't think. Maybe 2. I think that looks pretty similar to the book. It might even need to go a little bit more. Let's maybe go 2.5. There we go. Looking great. So, I've got this part done. All the positive features are done, meaning everything that has mass to it. Now we have to take some things away. The first thing I'm going to take away is I'm going to put a hole out here in the end of this. To put a hole in it, you might think you draw a circle and extrude it to cut. That's actually not the proper way of doing that. It would work to do that, but the proper way to do it is using this command called hole. So you can come up here to the hole command. There's a few different ways the hole command works. One way is from a sketch. Another way is on a cylindrical surface, you can just put it on like this. So it comes up there. I'm going to click on this surface, put my hole. I'm going to purpose click it over here to the side just so you can see what it does. So I'm going to click over there. So that starts my hole there. Now, next, it needs a reference how to make it centered. So you could come out there and center it on the origin there, or on the dot, but I want it concentric to the circle. So I'm going to click on that circle, and notice how it centers it right there on that circle. Now I need to set the size of my hole. Obviously, 0.19 is a little bit small. Let's try 1. Whoa, not 12. 12 is too big. Try 1, and 1 looks pretty similar. Next, all of these different parts here are different details for the hole. First, placement. Right there, we got it placed with that option there, just by clicking the concentric circle. Here, the type of hole, how the bottom of the hole is, whether it has a counter bore, or a spot face, or a countersink. These are all for a clearance hole, a tapered hole, a taper tapped hole. Actually, sorry, that was a tapped hole there, which means a threaded hole. How it terminates, how it ends, just by a distance, through all, to a surface. If I wanted to go down to this surface, I could click the to option and go to that surface. The hole would stop right there. Well, on this instance, I want to go all the way through it. So I'm going to pick this option here, which says through all, and it goes all the way through. Next, the direction. Well, the direction is going obviously correct. If I go the other direction, it's going to come out. Don't want that. So there we go. So I centered it up using the center point here. I'm just going to go OK, and that hole is done and goes all the way through and looks beautiful. All right, next. I want to round these corners. Rounding those corners are going to be called a fillet. You've done fillets before, so I'm going to click on fillet. I'm going to click that corner. First, it's just going to select them all, so I'm going to go around clicking all of those corners to fillet. And then I want to set my amount. That amount of fillet, 0.125, is definitely not enough. Let's try that. Highlight there and go 0.25 possibly. I think I want to go more. I'm going to try 0.5. There. I think I like the 0.5. I'm going to go OK. And now all four of those corners are filleted. Obviously, on any of these things, if you want to edit them, you'd come up here to your fillet, double click on it, and you can change your fillet radius down there if you'd like to, or up. And the hole, if you want to change the size of it, you double click on your hole. It brings you right back to that menu, and you can change the size of your hole. That's basically it for this part. That's this one finished up, looking great. Go ahead and save that to your page 81 and 82 folder, which you should have already created in your activity folder, and save this as page 82 Top-C. Page 82 Top-C in your page 81 and 82 folder, which is inside of your activity folder. Actually, before you save it though, you should change up the material. I always like some sort of material. Again, when you change the material, don't set it to something that you see through. Don't set it to expanded metal. That's just really confusing. I can't see very well what I'm trying to look at and grade. Set it to something that, sure, foil gold is fine. Light beige, sure, beautiful. Pink, yeah, I like that. Whatever, any of those colors is great, but something else than that, other than that, it's not good. There is one more thing on this one I just thought about I wanted to show you, and I can kind of do this, show you another drawing in conjunction with this one. If you look at letter F on the top of page 82, you'll notice how the cylinder on it tapers in. It's not straight up. Let me just show you on this how you would do that. So, for example, I'm going to go here. Extrusion 3 is that cylinder. I'm going to double click on it. And when I'm here, something we never have looked at yet, I do have this more option here. So I click over here on the more option on that. I can add a taper angle. Let's say my taper angle is 10. And, notice the 10. Don't really like that. That goes out. So you could go maybe a minus 10. Minus 10 for this one to make it look like that object would look is probably a little bit much. Let's try minus 5. That was 0.5. Minus 5. Let's try that. Minus 5 I think is going to be a little bit too much for what I'm trying to accomplish here. Let's go minus 3. Maybe. Yeah, that doesn't look like much. But anyway, you kind of see what I'm trying to show you on the other one. We could actually make this a little bit shorter, and that might make it look a little bit more like the one from the letter F. So 1.5 down to there, possibly. Now I think I will go back into it once again and change up my taper, maybe now to the minus 5. And, it looks similar. I still think it should have a little bit more of a taper, but I'm going to kind of get rid of my hole if I do that. But you can kind of see maybe what the taper is going to be. Oh, I did 7. I did that wrong. Let's try this one more. Minus 7. There we go. I think that looks pretty similar to the letter F of the book for that little taper on there. But you can taper that, no problem like that. That's about the only one on this whole thing that you are going to need to taper. But that looks good there. Alright, we are going to go ahead and start another new drawing. Another example one here. We're going to do letter I. So let's go ahead and let's start our sketch. For our sketch, we're going to go in here, and I'm going to draw the back portion of it first. I'm going to draw the part on the front plane here. For that, I'm going to draw a shape that looks somewhat like this. Let's see what we can do here. I'm actually going to start it with a circle over here on the side. So a circle about there. I'm going to make a line that goes to that top point of the circle. Straight over, I do want that line locking in perpendicular to my plane. Well, maybe over something like about that. Down possibly about there. And back over to there. Alright, that looks somewhat similar. I'm going to go ahead and trim this out. And I don't know if I said this before. We haven't really had to trim much stuff before. Trim is X, so you can hit X and trim out that little piece there. So that looks pretty much like what I'm doing here. Let's go ahead and start getting some dimensions on this. You'll notice dimensioning is going to be kind of weird. This thing's going to jump around a little bit, but we'll get that solved. First, I'm going to put a dimension on from the end of the object on the left over to the center point of the circle. And, oh, I don't know. Let's make that 3. As I said before, 3 is kind of a common measurement I use there. So 3. Oh, we can dimension the size of the circle there. Possibly a 1. Let's try that. Next, let's put on this height dimension here. We're pretty close to 1.5 there. Let's just try 1.5, see what that's going to look like. Do that there. Let's get this thing centered up horizontally and vertically. I will do that one there to my origin there. Get me a little bit blue. Here, this top line's longer, so I'm just going to go to the midpoint of it to there. And hey, wow, that got me all constrained. Now, I didn't know if mine was going to constrain properly there or not. It's a possibility that you guys maybe did not get this perpendicular, or sorry, this tangent constraint in here. So if your circle's going everywhere and it doesn't turn blue, add in your tangent constraint. So right there is your tangent constraint, and you can make this tangent to the circle, and that'll be great. It is tangent here on this side, however, as you know, it is not tangent. But I got lucky. I had all that in there, so all I needed to do was add in this one here once again. So let me get that one in, wherever it is. And there we go. I really think my scale is pretty good. I might want to go up a little bit on this circle, so I might go to 1.25. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like. We'll finish our sketch, and we'll extrude. I'm going to go ahead and extrude on this one. Honestly, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You can go both ways, or you can come off of that surface. You know, maybe I'll just go off of that surface and work this drawing forward. So there's that portion of it. Now next, I want to draw this next part of this drawing. So I'm going to go start sketch. I'm going to start the sketch over here on this plane, right there. I want to rotate it, get in the same orientation as the book, so I'm going to rotate this back. So right there I am. It's a little bit backwards here because I'm kind of looking at the back side of this thing, but that's okay. I'm going to draw a line. And actually, again, I just start with a circle. If you have a circle, it's a good idea to start with your circular object. So I'm going to start with my circle here. Something kind of like that. Oh, let's see here. The circle, I should probably pull it over here a little bit. No, I don't know. Maybe something like that. Maybe something done like that. Looks kind of similar to the book there. And I go here with a line that goes from this top corner down to here. Now here we do want this tangent. I am not getting a tangent symbol show up. Oh wait, right there I did. But if you don't get it to show up tangent there, you can always add that in later. So we're going to put that there. Here, I'm going to go down with a line from there straight down to there. Again, I have that little tangent symbol showing up there. And you know what? That really is probably pretty good. Oh, actually, I need one more line here at the top. I almost missed. I need that line from there to there. Okay, once again, I need to trim out, so I'm going to chop out that portion of the circle. And now I have this kind of this bulge out here that I need to constrain. So I'm going to constrain the diameter of the circle. 1.34 is where I'm at. I think that's going to get a little bit large. I'll go down to 1.25 possibly on that. Then next, I need to get the center point of the circle constrained. It still can move up and down. And it can't move in and out because we have that set there, I guess. So here I'm going to dimension from there to here. Again, that got me fully constrained. I might go 2.5, see what that looks like. There, I think that's all right. If it still moves, grab it and see how it's moving. Grab the center point of the circle, grab a line, and see how it's moving. You maybe have to add in this tangent constraint here, or possibly this tangent constraint over here. Now I am noticing, yeah, for whatever reason,